Hello everyone, welcome back to my poetry class. This is your K.N. Patil. Today I am going to deal with another great poem, Mending Wall, written by an American poet, Robert Frost. Brief introduction of the poem. As earlier said, this poem is written by Robert Frost, an American poet, and this poem written in 1914. This is the first poem in his second poetry book, North of Boston. And in this poem we can see two main characters. One is the narrator and his neighbor. In this poem, the poet explored the way of people, how they are isolating themselves physically and emotionally by building barriers like fences. These fences suggest national, religious, political and economic clashes and discrimination. This disperses man from man and hampers the ways of cultivating good relationships. According to the poet, these fences are harmful for the good relationships. Background and the main theme of the poem. Every year in springtime, two neighbors meet to repair the stone wall that divides their property. The narrator is skeptical and opposing of this tradition. Skeptical means here questioning. The major themes of the poem are exploration, curiosity, and the need for the gap that the poet found in the poem. The speaker in the poem is a progressive individual who starts to question the need of such a wall. He is the first person asking the question, what is the necessity of the fence there between their property? The neighbor beyond the hill is a traditionalist and never accepted the opinion of the narrator. He always repeats the words, good fences make good neighbors. That is the stock reply of the neighbor, because he was a traditionalist. He always followed his old rules gifted him by his father. The recitation of the poem, Mending Wall. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen ground swell under it, and spills the upper boulders in the sun, and makes gaps between two can pass abreast. The work of hunters is another thing. I have come after them and made repair. Where they have left not one stone on a stone, but they would have the rabbit out of hiding. To please the yelping dogs, the gaps I mean. No one has seen them made or heard them made, but at spring mending time we find them there. I'll let my neighbor know beyond the hill, and on a day we meet to walk the line, and set the wall between us once again. We keep the wall between us as we go. To ease the boulders that have fallen to each, and some are lows and some so nearly balls. We have to use a spell to make them balance. Stay where you are until our backs are turned. Beware our fingers rough with handling them. Oh, just another kind of outdoor game. One on a side, it comes to little more. There, where it is we do not need the wall. He is all pine and I am apple orchard. My apple trees will never get across and eat the cones under his pines. I tell him, he only says, good fences make good neighbors. Spring is the mischief in me, and I wonder if I could put a notion in his head. Why do they make good neighbors, isn't it? Where there are cows, but here there are no cows. Before I built a wall, I would ask to know what I was walling in or walling out, and to whom I was like to give offense. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that wants it down, I could say, yellows to him. But it is not yellows exactly, and I would rather he said it for himself. I see him there, bringing a stone grasped firmly by the top in each hand, like an old stone savage armed. He moves in darkness, as it seems to me, not of woods only and the shade of trees. He will not go behind his father's saying, and he likes having thought of it so well. He says again, good fences make good neighbors. Brief summary of the poem. At the very beginning of the poem, the poet is taking us towards the nature. Therefore, the narrator says something does exist in the nature. that does not want a wall. He says man makes many walls, but they all get damaged and destroyed either by nature or by the hunters, who search for rabbits for their hungry dogs. Hence, as soon as the spring season starts, the narrator with his neighbor sets out to repair the wall that keeps their properties separated. Though the narrator comes together with his neighbor to repair the wall, he considers it as an act of stupidity. He believes that, in fact, both of them don't need a wall. He asks why should there be a wall when his neighbor has only pine trees and he has apple. How could his apple trees go across the border and eat his neighbor's pine cones? Moreover, there is no chance of offending one and another, as they don't also have any cows at their homes. While the narrator tries to make his neighbor understand that they don't need a wall, his neighbor is stone-headed savage, who only believes in father's age-old saying that good fences make good neighbors. Throughout the poem, the speaker suggests his neighbor that the wall is unnecessary between their property. According to him, these walls exclude people, but the neighbor's argument is completely different. According to his neighbor, that walls actually improve relationships because they allow people to treat each other fairly and prevent conflict. So the ultimate decider is you, whose opinion is correct, either the poet or his neighbor. Thank you for watching. If you like my video, please click the like icon below, and for more other literature study, subscribe my channel.